Hello everyone, welcome to Academic Coordinates. In this video, we are dealing with arithmetic sequences. Now, this is a sequence with a constant difference between consecutive terms. We refer to them sometimes as linear sequences. Now, in these sequences, to get the next term, you need to add a constant value, right? So if you've got the first term as T1, which you're going to call A, in order for you to get the next term, which is T2, you are going to add a constant value on A, which is D. Now, D is actually the constant difference between the terms. And to get T3, you are going to add again a constant value, which is A plus D. This, remember, is the second term. So on the second term, you are going to add a constant value, which you're going to have simplified now, A plus 2D. Do you guys see that? So now, what about T4? In T4, you are going to add a constant value to T3. So remember, this is T3. So you're going to add a constant value. So now if you simplify everything and add the like terms, it's going to be A plus 3D. Let's take it just one step further. What about T5, which is the next term? So we have got T4A plus D plus D plus D. This is what? This is T4. So in order for you to get T5, you're going to add a constant value, which is D over here. And then you're going to have A plus 4D. Do you guys see that? So now, what about the nth term? Or what about the general term of this sequence, which is, in our case, which is Tn, right? So as you can see that you've got A in all our terms right here. So if you can see here, so in the place of n, you've got 2. The coefficient of D is 1. Do you guys see that? In the place of n, you've got 3. The coefficient of D is actually 2. Or in front of D, there's 2. Here you've got 4 in the place of n. And then here you've got 3. So it makes sense that the nth term is going to be A plus n minus 1 D, right? So this is the nth term of an arithmetic sequence. So it's Tn is equals to A plus n minus 1 D. Just to reiterate that, so this is the place of n, right? And then this is 2 minus 1, which is a 1. This is 3. This is 3 minus 1, which is a 2. This is 4. This is 4 minus 1, which is 3. So from pattern recognition right now, it actually proves that the general term is going to be Tn is equals to A plus n minus 1 times D, where Tn is the general term of an arithmetic sequence and A is the first term. The first term, general term here, or the nth term, right? And then after we move further, D is the constant difference, right? So it is actually the value that you add on the previous term to get the next term. And finally, N is the position of the term, right? And one thing about n is that you cannot have an n which is like, let's say a fraction, for example, or an n that is, a rational number. Your n should be a whole number. Okay, let's continue. Let's say, for example, we have got a sequence of 3, 5, 7, 9. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, what is your A here? Your A, which is your first term, your A is 3, right? But what is the constant difference between the terms? 5 minus 3 is what? That's 2. Let's check here. 7 minus 5, that is also 2. Lastly, 9 minus 7, that is also 2. So the constant difference here is what? Is actually 2. Okay, and how can you guys be certain that a specific sequence is an arithmetic sequence, right? And just take note that D, so the constant difference here, in other words, T2 minus T1 should equals to T3 minus T2, which should be T4 minus what? T3. Do you see that? So if this is satisfied, in other words, as you go further now, Tn plus 1 minus Tn, you know? So this should give you the same value. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, if you found that this answer here is 2, and then you found 3 here, it is not an arithmetic sequence. Okay, so we're just going to do a quick example here, just to seal everything up. -1, 2, 5, 8, 11, 14. So this continues, right? So now the first thing we're asked here is to find the nth term of this sequence. First of all, let's determine, is this an arithmetic sequence? So now this is going to be 2, the difference. Now when we speak of difference, we speak of subtraction. This is 2 minus, take note now, minus 1, right? So this is going to be 2 plus 1, which is 3. Let's check these two. It's going to be 5 minus 2. What is that? That is 3. Let's check this one. It's going to be 8 minus 5, and that is 3. And then let's check this one. 11 minus 8, that is 3. So do you guys see that an arithmetic sequence behavior is being confirmed here? 14 minus 11, that is 3. You know? So your D equals to 3. Your A equals to -1. Your nth term, Tn, is A plus n minus 1 times D. So now let's substitute here. Tn is equals to A is -1 plus n minus 1. Our D is 3, right? So let's continue. It's -1. So 3 times n, that's going to be plus 3n. 3 times minus 1, that's going to be -3, right? So let's just simplify this further. This is 3n. So -3 minus 1, that's going to be -4. So this is our general term of this sequence. So from this, we can find any other term that you want to find. You know, for example, if we're interested in finding T3, we are just going to put or substitute a 3 wherever we see n. This is going to be 3 times 3 minus 4. So what is this? This is 3 times 3 is 9 minus 4. So this should equals to 5. You see that the third term from this is actually 5, you know? So what about term number, I don't know, term number 10, for example? Even though it's not in this sequence, I mean, we are continuing in this fashion. Those 3 dots, it means that it is continuing. If you're asked to find term number 10, you are going to use the same general or the nth term. Then it's going to be 3 times wherever there's n, you put 10 here, minus 4. So now this is 3 times 10 is 30, minus 4. What is that? That is 26. So it means that in this sequence, there is a term in position number 10, which is equals to 26. Okay, and then the last question maybe I might ask you guys, let's say if I ask, term is a term that equals to 45 in the sequence, you know, or is 45 contained in this sequence? How do you do that? So basically what you're going to do is that, remember, your general term is equals to 3n minus 4, and as I've said, through this general term you can find any other term you want. So now this is 45, so 45 is going to correspond to Tn. We're going to put 45 here. So now we are looking now for a position that corresponds to a term that equals to 45 in the sequence. So basically we are going to solve for n, right? So it's going to be 45, and then we add 4 both sides, plus 4 is equals to 3n, right? So 45 plus 4, that is 49, is equals to 3n. So what is our n now? So n will equals to 49 divided by 3, you know. So question is, what are you going to get here? So if you do this on your calculator, you are going to get something like 16.3 blah 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 blah, right? So now n should be a natural number, because we are speaking of position here where the term is contained, you know. So as you can see that this 16.3 is not a whole number, so you conclude, you say therefore 45 is not in the sequence, right? So if you do not get a whole number here, you just from the get-go, it doesn't make sense, you know, that you can have something on 49 over 3 position, you know. Okay guys, let me just do a final recap. So arithmetic sequences are sequences where you've got a constant difference between consecutive terms. In other words, to get the next term, you need to add a constant value, you know, and that constant value here is d, you know. And then as we did here, the first term, the second term, the third term, and then we recognize something, that if you want to find Tn, and then we place here 5, and then what is in front of d, or what is multiplying d, is 5 minus 1. So the general term is going to be n minus 1 times d. So whatever that is multiplying d is this n minus 1. That's how we got to this. So now from this, Tn is the general term, or it is the nth term. A is the first term, d is the constant difference, n is the position of the term, which cannot be a decimal number, you know. And then here we just sort of find out, we're just doing a sequence, and then we sort of found the difference here, and then we found 2, 2, 2 for this d, and then we confirm that this is an arithmetic sequence. We did this example where we found the general term. In order for us to find the general term, we had to find what is d and what is a, and then we use that to find the general term of this sequence. From finding the general term of the sequence, we could find any term we want to find. T3 was 5, T10 was 26, and then if we are asked is 45 in the sequence, we just put whatever that we are given in the place for Tn and solve for the position. Now if your position is a decimal, it's not torn carried, right? So 45 is not in the sequence. All right guys, do stay blessed and enjoy the rest of your day.